We are going to discuss about the anterior chamber angle today, and we'll try to focus about the basic applied anatomy of the anterior chamber angle. Before discussing the anterior chamber angle, we need to understand the two important fluid systems within the eye. And those two important fluid systems are namely the aqueous humor and the vitreous humor. The aqueous humor is produced by the ciliary processes present within the ciliary body. They are secreted in the posterior chamber, and further, the aqueous humor is circulated to the anterior chamber. From there, the aqueous humor is drained via the anterior chamber angle structures. Now, this is a process: production of aqueous humor, circulation of aqueous humor, and finally, drainage of aqueous humor. Production, circulation, and drainage. This entire process and phenomena is extremely important to maintain normal intraocular pressure, what is usually termed as IOP, intraocular pressure. If there is any mishap within the production or the circulation or the drainage of the aqueous humor from the posterior chamber to the anterior chamber, and then the drainage that occurs through the anterior chamber angle structures, it could give rise to an abnormally high intraocular pressure. And an abnormally intraocular pressure can give rise to a group of diseases which is called as glaucoma. So we understand that the drainage of aqueous humor is an essential entity to occur, which is facilitated by the anterior chamber angle structures. Hence, understanding the anatomy of the anterior chamber angle structures is extremely important. Before discussing the anterior chamber angle structures, we need to know what is an anterior chamber. The anterior chamber is essentially bounded by the back of the cornea anteriorly and by the anterior surface of the iris and ciliary body posteriorly. So anteriorly, the anterior chamber is facing the back of the cornea, and posteriorly it is facing the iris. So essentially, the anterior chamber angle is formed by the cornea and the iris. That's the anterior chamber angle. Anterior chamber is about 3 millimeters deep in the center, approximately 3 millimeters deep in the center in normal adults. It contains approximately 0.25 ml of the aqueous humor. The aqueous humor, which is produced by the ciliary processes in the ciliary body, is secreted in the posterior chamber. Further, it is circulated into the anterior chamber, and from there it is drained via the anterior chamber angle structures. And when we say that 0.25 ml of aqueous humor is present, it is present within the anterior chamber. Through the pupil, the anterior chamber communicates with the posterior chamber. The peripheral part of the anterior chamber, which forms an angle, is called as the anterior chamber angle. And this is what we are going to discuss today. The angle of the anterior chamber plays an important role in the process of aqueous drainage. This is the function of the angle of the anterior chamber. It plays an essential and important role in aqueous humor drainage. Clinically, the angular structures can be visualized by a device or an accessory device which is to be used with the help of slit lamp, and that device is called as gonioscope. So the angular structures can be visualized by a gonioscopic examination. Starting from the posterior to anterior, the angular structures are present, namely the ciliary band, the scleral spur, the trabecular meshwork, and the Schwalbe's line. So this is how you remember the names from posterior to anterior. CSTS. C stands for ciliary band, S stands for scleral spur, T stands for trabecular meshwork, and S stands for Schwalbe's line. These are the four important structures present within the anterior chamber angle, and we study these structures from posterior to anterior. So let us discuss about the ciliary band. The ciliary band is the most posterior landmark in the anterior chamber angle. It is formed by the anterior most part of the ciliary body between its attachment to the scleral spur and the insertion of the iris. If you try and see the diagram, we understand the ciliary body band or the ciliary band is formed by the anterior most part of the ciliary body, and further it is attached to the scleral spur. It has to be understood that the width of the ciliary body band or the ciliary band depends upon the level of iris insertion. And it is interesting to know that the ciliary body band is wider in myopes and narrower in hypermetropes. Usually on a gonioscopic examination it appears grey or dark brown band. The second important structure that we will study is the scleral spur. The scleral spur is the posterior portion of the scleral sulcus, which usually appears like a prominent white line on gonioscopy. The third structure, which is the trabecular meshwork and happens to be the most important part of the anterior chamber angle structure, which is seen as a band just anterior to the scleral spur. Its appearance may vary, but we have to remember that it does not have any pigment at birth, but it develops pigmentation with increasing age. Therefore, with age, its color differs from faint tan to dark brown. Usually, this color can be appreciated on a gonioscopic examination. The last structure, but an important structure, is the Schwalbe's line, and it is a fine ridge. It is a fine line seen just in front of the trabecular meshwork. It is formed by a prominent end of the Descemet's membrane of the cornea, which is why we study that the anterior chamber angle is posteriorly supplied and posteriorly supported by the iris and the ciliary body, and anteriorly it is an extension of the back surface of the cornea. So the Schwalbe's line, which is the anterior most part of the anterior chamber angle, as we discuss, is the prominent end of the Descemet's membrane of the cornea. The angle structure can be studied and graded with the help of Schaeffer's grading system. And this is a very important grading system in order to rule out any narrowing of the anterior chamber angle. A narrow anterior chamber angle is an indication or one of the important considerations to be taken for glaucoma assessment. Let us have a look at this table, which is called as the Schaeffer's grading system for anterior chamber angle width. If you see that there are different columns present in this table, and the first column is meant for the grade, and we understand that there are grades from 0 to 4. The first grade which is written is grade 4, which is a wide open angle, and the angle width of a wide open angle would be approximately 35 to 45 degrees. And such an angle, a wide open angle, when seen under a gonioscope, one would be able to observe the entire anterior chamber angle structures, which start from the Schwalbe's line to the ciliary body. As opposite to this, if you see a grade 0 angle, which is a closed angle, and you find that none of the angle structures are visible. Let us consider an angle of grade 2. And we see that the angle width of such an angle is 20 degrees, which is comparatively narrower than a grade 4 angle, which is a wide open angle. But we understand the structures visible on gonioscopy for grade 2 are from Schwalbe's line to trabecular meshwork. So these are different grading systems from grade 4 to grade 0. A grade 4 is a wide open angle where all the structures of the anterior chamber angle are seen and observed through a gonioscope. A grade 3 is a comparatively narrower angle where only three structures of the anterior chamber angle are observed by a gonioscope. So if we see that in a grade 3 angle, only Schwalbe's line to scleral spur is visible, the ciliary body is not visible. A grade 2 is a further narrower angle. A grade 1 angle is a very narrow angle where only Schwalbe's line can be assessed or observed with the help of a gonioscope. So this grading system is very important and an essential workup tool which is to be done while assessing patients for glaucoma. Anterior chamber angle, as we study, is the most important anatomical entity for aqueous humor drainage. And if there is any difficulty within the drainage system, this could give rise to an abnormally high intraocular pressure, as we had already discussed. And this high intraocular pressure can give rise to a group of diseases which is called as glaucoma. The aqueous humor has important functions to play, and the aqueous humor is produced, circulated, and further it undergoes a drainage system, and the drainage system is facilitated by an important ocular anatomy, as we have studied, which is called as anterior chamber angle structures. Thank you very much.